Thank you very much for allowing me to be part of your opening occasion. And I just want to say from the outset, thank you for always turning up in such important conversations in Papua New Guinea, and not just the one organized by Petroleum, but even the bigger body, Mining and Petroleum. I see all of you very active, very robust in supporting this one. I just want to appreciate all of you for the support. I note in the presence, Japanese Ambassador to Papua New Guinea, thank you very much. I was there on the first ship that was dispatched at PNG LNG in 2014, and I received at the Tepco yard in Japan when it arrived in Japan, when the Spirit of Hell arrived in Japan. So thank you, Ambassador, for your continued presence here, signaling the support of the government and people of Japan. Talking about government and people of Japan, I had the distinguished pleasure of meeting Prime Minister of Japan. When I visited him last year, he gave me an opportunity to sit with him for an important bilateral. Amongst our conversation, he said his country needs energy. I just returned from France, and I flew non-stop in yesterday, arrived last night. President, His Excellency Emmanuel Macron, basically said he needs energy. I was in Jakarta early last week, to be exact, last week, Wednesday or mid last week. The President said he needs energy. I was in Israel earlier in the week. Israeli Prime Minister says he needs energy, but by God's grace, they're moving fast into the clean energy space. They're using more reliance on renewable these days. And so energy is a major conversation. You have few essential needs of every humankind. Food, water, energy, of course, oxygen. And fortunately for us in Papua New Guinea, we have this in abundance. We have abundance of food. You find food in our waters and in our seas, the entire 500 million square kilometers of our waters, entire 460,840 square kilometers of our land. You find abundance of food and in our seas and in our land. You find abundance of water also. We have a climate that is the envy of many in the world today. They don't have an arid climate, extreme weather patterns. Of course, once in a while, prolonged crisis does occur. But our big rivers continue to run 365 days a year and endlessly. And we have abundance of energy sources, potential energy sources, in the cleaner hydrocarbon space, and of course, I'm deliberately using this word, cleaner hydrocarbon space. It's not an accidental use of land. Cleaner hydrocarbon space, yes, much cleaner than others. We have much cleaner renewables, hydro potential, geothermal potential, solar potentials, wind potentials, and so we have abundance of energy. In my conversation with the Indonesian President, we are discussing on cross-exchange use of energy supply, not just from gas, but also from hydro and other cleaner energies we might generate both in Papua New Guinea and on the other side. There's a small mini-grid now being run from Jayapura into Wutung, and hopefully if the leaderships on the ground and all of us are in agreement, it will extend the north coastline of Papua New Guinea. We're accessing power from them, but for me as Papua New Guinea in the big picture, into the not too distant future, I want to reverse power supply to them. From hydro, from solar, from any other source, more importantly targeting the big waters that continues to run off in Papua New Guinea 365 days a year. So I'm happy with this conversation. Thank you all for coming by. We're not yet making transition into deep into the clean energy space ASAP. This is a conversation that is taking place globally. It is contemporary, but we can see into what is happening in Europe. They've been talking and having talk first, but no one put serious money down into ensuring that clean energy, as defined by the so-called experts, is readily available at the right price to ensure the economy is sustained, households are sustained, people are not sabotaged in respect to energy insecurity or security. And so Europe points to us a glaring reality that too many talk and not too many actions. And Papua New Guinea do not intend to fall into this race. We're still a hydrocarbon producing nation, but a cleaner one. Oil has been running since 1990. If anyone doubts our ability to be an investment destination, let's just look at our oil. No cargo has missed Kumul Terminal since 1990. Not too many parts of planet Earth would have this sort of record. Every cargo meant for our markets has left Kumul Terminal safely since Chevron operated Kutubu oil fields. Later, when Oil Search took over, and now Santos running that facility, no cargo has missed its international market. That is our small commitment or reflection on the fact that this country does honor investors and investments, and government in, government out will always do its utmost best to protect those who choose to invest in us. You again look at the PNG LNG as another classical case talking about investment. In 2008, 2009, there was a sister project of ExxonMobil in Australia, the Gorgon project. There were 25% stakeholders of the Gorgon project, a little bit bigger. They started off around the same time, 2008, 2009, if I'm not wrong, Tara and Peter, you better place to advise me on this one. Run by several. Gorgon was delivered, guess what? Later, 45% extra cost. PNG LNG, 60,000 landowners to deal with, 5 provincial governments, perceived as a hard place of investment, yet delivered on time, under budget, first gas to a contract, TEPCO in Japan, spot on. I was witness to first gas delivery, not just here in Port Moresby, but at the TEPCO landing shipyard. And so this is a testament to how we've come. Today I speak as Prime Minister and the Chief Policy Beholder. We don't intend to make global pronouncements. Our own commitment to global responsibilities on climate change remains that by 2050 we would be net zero, but guess what? We're already net zero. In fact, we are negative carbon footprint holder in Papua New Guinea. So no one outside of this country should preach to me on net carbon zero. My country, beholder of one of the largest undisturbed tropical rainforests, has a carbon sink propensity of over 100 million metric tons of carbon every year. That's the propensity of my forest to be a carbon sink. And so to Total and ExxonMobil, to Santos and all of you who are operating here, you're operating in a negative carbon footprint country. Negative carbon footprint country. Bring your global investments in as far as your responsibility to climate change into Papua New Guinea and help me preserve my forests. There inside, you and me will find continued carbon negativity, not just in your operations in Papua New Guinea, but elsewhere on the face of planet Earth. Preserve my forest, let's continue and work the hydrocarbon space. I'm no expert like Professor Fezraki, but I don't see the world having technological ability in the next 5 years, 10 years to make quick transition to clean energy to satisfy the ever-growing need of business, industry, economies, and households. I may be wrong. I'm no prophet, I'm no expert in this space. But as a government planner for my country and for the region, as I look around, I see the 4 billion people in the Asian marketplace. The appetite for energy will continue to grow and grow. I speak in an ASEAN region, the order of 5% of global GDP. ASEAN region, the tiger economies of Asia will continue to grow, and the need for energy outgrows the economic growth. That's not including Japan, Korea, China, India. That's just the Asian economy, and PNG right in the periphery, if not in the mix of the Asian economy, has an indication that they need economy. The economy needs energy, I beg your pardon, as we speak. And so today's conversation is timely. You're in a place where we will be promoting investment in the energy sector, not just the hydrocarbon energy, but all mixes of energy. We are ready to promote the energy, and that is why we as a government have deliberately cut out the energy section from petroleum, what is to be petroleum and energy, we've now set up energy department as a regulator, the petroleum sector as well as the general energy sector. That is a deliberate move by government to have a specific energy authority that will regulate how the petroleum sector and all who are in the energy business operate in our country, so that we could all move forward. And hopefully Papua New Guinea can be an answer to supply of energy, better still, clean, reliable energy to the marketplace, not just in PNG, but more importantly to the ASEAN, Asian marketplace and the global marketplace. The market within reach from Papua New Guinea is second to none. I was speaking to Peter last night, and those of you who are in the industry knows my conversation. You can go and invest, and not to say other places are not good place to invest, but whether it's contracted cargo or spot market cargo, Papua New Guinea's ability to find spot market is much easier than most other countries. Papua New Guinea's ability to fetch and assist from government perspective, assist investors stitching long-term contracts, it's much, much easier than many other places in the world. Needless to name which country and needless to name which project, or maybe I name a project, Papua LNG, because Kumul should be out looking for buyers, the way the Papua LNG is structured. I went and spoke to one global leader, in fact a major consumer of energy, and he just gave an order and 3 million metric tons of gas burned was sold on the spot. That's the competitive advantage Papua New Guinea brings to the table. We have accessibility to global leadership, we have accessibility to regional leadership, like not too many other nations would have access to. Our bilateral relationship with many nations really on top notch today. I've spent the last 2 years reactivating those relationships closer to home and externally, and market for our producers, including energy, is available. And so let me conclude by saying, you're in the right place discussing on the right topic. The world is in need of energy. The world is in need of food, water, and these insecurities must be filled by suppliers or producers. And for energy, Papua New Guinea stands ready to assist investors. Papua New Guinea government stands ready, rather, to assist investors who want to find residents in Papua New Guinea and invest in the energy sector. Of course, as global citizens as we are responsible. And our focus remains that clean energy receives top priority. But in between clean energy, transitional energies are maintained. I'd rather invest in gas than investing in coal, simply put, as practical naming should be. And so gas is the business core focus of us, for us. If oil can be found, oil will still remain the area where we will support. Coal will rank below these two hydrocarbons that I've named earlier. And so we encourage for investments to flow, and if those who will ask us to be cautious about your carbon footprint, I just want to reflect back at you, can borrow my words, that we are a carbon negative country by far, many miles than most. Most scientists who emanate from the Western world, the established world, I ask them, just go and talk to your country in the first instance. Allow your country to be carbon neutral at the very earliest, and help come in and help preserve my forest. I am preserving my forest so that my industries participate clearly and safely, because their operations in PNG is offset against the forest I already have, and they could safely produce to export to the Asian marketplace that I and PNG government will help find for those who choose to invest in our country. And so fear not, you're in a carbon negative country. I know many banks associated with those who preach this carbon neutral and carbon negative going up against those who choose to invest in this place. I want to maybe say that if that is the way to go for some investors, look around. The world is full of other people who can lend to finance these sort of projects. And I want to encourage the majors who are already here, keep on driving in this sector. We will support where we can. We want to do reform in the oil and gas sector to not only get benefit for our country, but more importantly, protect your investments and our collective investments. You don't need to fear everything that Minister Kua will say. At the bottom line, we respect your rate of return on investments. We will ensure that whatever model we go into, we don't affect the bottom line. That you too must make profit for yourselves. For us, we discuss about early take. We want to take early so that as we take early today, we ensure roads, bridges, schools, security, all these aspects are fixed and your long-term investment remains in a secure environment. So for us, it's all about early take conversation, how we could optimize and get in early, including not just from the project direct benefit, but indirect, like local content conversations, domestic market conversations. All this adds up to the total state. We want to take it early so that our people are happier and we continue to remain as long-term investors in us. And PNG, in my view, will forever remain a safe place for investment, closer to the marketplaces we have, in no hurry to move towards energy transition or clean energy at the very earliest. Gas and oil will still find a place in our country for the next 20 to 30 years. We will ensure regulatory environment giving you that support. But as you went this space, partners in conserving my forests, also do your own research into ensuring that our hydro potentials and other energy mixes are thrown into the picture as we find out pressure in Papua New Guinea. Thank you very much. God bless each and every one of you.